How to make ombre rosette cake.
On their own, buttercream rosettes are such an easy and gorgeous way to decorate a cake. Then if you throw some ombre frosting into the mix, you end up with a truly stunning ombre rosette cake. With the help of an open star tip like a Wilton 1M, these swirls of frosting make your cake look like a total masterpiece. If this technique is new to you, don't worry. I walk through everything you need to know to make the perfect ombre rosette cake. I like to make a pink rosette cake, but you can color your buttercream any color you want. What frosting tip works best for piping rosettes? My go-to piping tip, and in my opinion the best piping tip to use to make buttercream rosettes, is an open star tip. Different brands make different versions of this, but the most common are a Wilton 1M or an ACO 824. I used a Wilton 1M to pipe the rosettes on this cake, and I love the way they look. With that in mind, you can also use the closed star piping tip like a Wilton 2D or an ACO 34. One of the best parts about this cake design is that you really don't need a ton of tools or fancy equipment. In fact, you don't even need a spinning cake stand. The things you will need are open or closed star frosting tip, like a Wilton 1M or Wilton 2D. For large frosting bags, food coloring, you can use liquid, gel, powder, or natural coloring like raspberry powder. If you have for plastic frosting back couplers, you only need one of these frosting tips. A coupler allows you to add and remove a frosting tip from back to pad, which means you can use the same frosting tip on all 4 frosting bags. If you don't have frosting couplers, you will need 4 of the same frosting tips. Now that we've covered what tools you need, let's talk about making perfectly colored ombre frosting. The first thing is making sure you have enough buttercream in each color. While you might think you want to make even amounts of each color, you're mistaken. You need a bit more of the lightest buttercream if you want to be able to cover the entire cake. With rosettes, the key to getting your shades just right is to use just one shade of food coloring and add it to increasing increments. For example, add 1 drop to the first bowl, 2 drops to the second bowl, etc. I like making all 4 shades in different bowls, so that you can see the shades together before I add them into piping bags. This allows you to make sure that all the shades look good together, and enables you to easily make any adjustments if needed. Practice makes perfect. If you aren't super comfortable with a piping bag or you haven't piped a buttercream rosette before, I recommend practicing on a piece of parchment or wax paper. Before you tackle your cake or cupcakes, tape down a small piece of parchment paper on your counter and practice the motion. Hold the piping bag perpendicular to the counter and slowly pipe a spiral starting in the center and working your way out. Once you get to the end of the rosette, stop squeezing and continue moving your hands in the same direction. You are piping until the buttercream separates from the piping tip. Try to focus on piping your rosettes in the same direction and roughly same size. Repeat and continue to practice until you feel comfortable with the motion. Scrape the frosting off the parchment paper and place it back into your piping bag to avoid waste. How to pipe ombre buttercream rosettes on cakes and cupcakes. When you're ready to pipe rosettes onto your cake, I recommend making 3 evenly spaced lines around the cake with an offset spatula. This will allow you to pipe for even rows of rosettes that are all evenly sized and spaced. Then start with your darkest buttercream and pipe a row of rosettes around the base of the cake. Repeat this process with the remaining ombre frosting, working your way to the top from darkest to lightest. To give your rosettes a super clean, cohesive look, I recommend ending each rosette where you plan to pipe the center of the next rosette. This will allow you to hide the tail of each rosette under the rosette next to it. Tips for making the best ombre rosette cake. Chill your cake layers in the freezer for about 20 minutes before assembling the cake. This makes them easier to stack and frost. Level your room temperature cake layers with a serrated knife. To make them easier to stack, make sure your buttercream is the right consistency. It allows you to easily pipe your rosettes and have them keep their shape. Crumb coat your cake in the same color that you plan to pipe your rosettes. This will help camouflage and gaps between your rosettes. Chill your crumb-coated cake to help the rosettes stay in place as you pipe them. T. Make 3 evenly spaced lines around the cake with an offset spatula before piping the rosettes. This will allow you to pipe for even rows of rosettes that are all evenly sized and spaced. Let me know what you think if you try this Ombre Rosette tips. I'd love to hear what you think. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another buttercream tutorial for your cupcakes and cakes decoration. Until my next video, have a wonderful day.